my new products. I can't wait to start creating. But this is our project for tonight, and it is using the ombre bags that are in the new in colors from the annual catalog. And you can tell that I've already started making with them, so I don't have all the colors represented here. But we have pale papaya, and that's the one I'm going to use tonight. Evening evergreen, some different shades of the soft succulent, the fresh freesia, and the polished pink. And so I got the idea for this project from a dear friend on the North Carolina Stampin' Up! Demonstrators group. Her name is Joanne Hewins. So here you can see I'm starting to make some more. I haven't finished those yet, but I want to complete them and put up some pictures. But it's a gift card holder. And I really am excited about this because I love little packages. I absolutely love packages. I like bags, I like boxes, I like containers that hold little surprises. So this one was really exciting for me. Joanne showed this on one of our stamp alongs that I helped to organize in our group, and I just fell head over heels for this. And I have to be honest with you and say, I did not give these bags a second thought. So it's a gift card holder. Here's a little Starbucks gift card that somebody gifted to me. And that's what this is about. So you get to decorate it. And I'm going to share with you tonight how to make it. It's so simple. So we have quite a bit of stamping, but I'm going to show you how to make this. You could tell I've been handling this for a little bit. Isn't it pretty? I love it. I absolutely love it. So glad that y'all like it. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move this out of the way. In addition to the stamps from Europeach and the designer series paper. And you know, I'm blanking on the name of that paper, to be honest. I cannot remember the name of that paper, but it's all a part of that collection. Let's see if I can find it really fast. Okay, so the designer series paper is also called Europeach. The suite of products is called Europeach. The singular stamp set is called Sweet as a Peach, but altogether the bundle is called Sweet as a Peach bundle. So yeah, the designer series paper is called Europeach as well. But anyway, I just am loving this collection of things, and this is, to me, the best new in color that kind of coordinates with it. I also like to include Calypso Coral. Make sure I'm in camera here. So whenever I'm designing with this particular set, I love the Calypso Coral to go along with it, as well as the Pear Pizzazz. And I knew that these were coordinating colors for the suite from the package of designer series paper. So on the back of your designer series paper, they tell you all of the coordinating colors. And so I knew that these would go well together in constructing my peaches and the branches and all the things with this little project. I just love it. I'm also using the ribbon from the in colors. So this ribbon is the open weave ribbon, and it comes in each of the new in colors. I think I've shared these with you before, so it's perfect to create a little bit of a little pull tab for the inside of the gift card holder. And let's see, what else did I use? I used the Pear Pizzazz cardstock, excuse me, and then Early Espresso for the little branches. What else? Oh, you would want to know that these little rectangular scalloped die cuts are from the scalloped contours and scallop and contours dies, which are also in the new or the annual catalog that was released back in, I don't know, whenever we released our new catalog in May. So you've seen me use those before, but they're the perfect size to fit into the little pockets that are created by folding and cutting the little bag. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's my bag. I tucked away some of the things that I'm going to be using tonight. So let me take those out and put them to the side. Get my ink pads situated so that I can reach them. And let's see what else is in there. Oh, sure enough, I did have some other pieces in there. I did this so that I wouldn't lose anything. It is very easy for me to lose stuff in my, or even on the desk. It doesn't even have to be around the room. I just lose it on the desk for some reason. So I started with a piece of designer series paper cut at 1 inch by, let's see, I think I cut it slightly less than 5, maybe 4 3/4 inches. And then I scored it right down the middle at 1/2 inch, okay? And that's gonna create the spine on the bag. Now I'm gonna take my bag, okay? Haven't cut anything yet, but I am going to fold it in half. And as I am trying to align things, I want the bottom edge of the bag to sort of meet up to the short row of the little zigzagged part of the bag. I'm gonna cut that off. And when I cut that off, it's gonna create the little opening. Now you wanna be very careful with the cutting that you don't cut too much away, as Joanne showed us. Joanne Hewins, this is where I got the idea from. You don't want to cut too much of the bag away because then your little inserts will kind of hang out. And so it's not a big deal if they do. They fit nicely in there, but the way Joanne showed us to line this up is just to get that little bottom edge of the bag right at the little jagged first row of the little jagged edge of the front of the bag. And so now I'm going to get my paper trimmer and I'm going to place this in the little cutting tray of the paper trimmer. I feel like I'm out of camera range. There we go. Maybe that'll help so that you can see. The bags are thin enough where you'll be able to see where you're cutting, where you're folding. So even if you can't see it on camera, the bags are light enough to where you can really see that. All right, I'm just gonna cut just at this edge, okay? And that's trash now, I don't need that. But in doing so, I create my pockets, all right? I don't have to do any other adhesive here because the bag is already put together. And literally now I'm ready to decorate. That's all I need to do now is to have fun with the decorations. So let me put the sample back here to show you where we're going. I might do a little different cover on this for this particular one. I do need to go ahead and adhere my little spine right here to the side of the bag, to the spine of the bag, and I'm using my Stampin' Seal to do that. Actually, I probably should use the Stampin' Seal Plus because it is going to be opened and closed a few times perhaps. It's always funny when people really like to look at the mechanism of something that I make like this. So in opening and closing, it might need a little bit sturdier adhesive. You don't want that to come off, okay? And let me make sure I'm at the right edge. I'm gonna go ahead and let's see. You know what? I think I like this side. I like this darker because it's an ombre bag. You notice that it goes from light to dark or from dark to light. I think I want this side to be the cover, the darker pale papaya side. So I'm gonna just turn it, flip it around so that it can be featured here. It may not really matter. It just depends on some decisions I make. So I'm going to line this up right at the edge where I made that score line so that I can get that nice and centered. So that score line helps me with that alignment. And with the strength of this Stampin' Seal Plus, I want to get it right because there is no redo or no tweaking or turning things around the way I do with my liquid adhesive. You could probably use the liquid adhesive as well. That's a nice strong hold so that you can move things around as you need to. You know, I always talk about the forgiving nature of that liquid adhesive, but it's still strong. So I'm using my bone folder just to reinforce the adhesive there. Make sure I have a nice strong bond. And now the fun can begin. So I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use one of the, I think this is like the third rectangle in those contour and scallop, or scallop and contour dies. This is the third one. It's the one right before you get to the little rectangle that has another sort of semi-cut in it. And I am going to use this on the cover to sort of arrange my blossoms and my peaches on the branches. And so I am going to use my liquid adhesive to adhere this to the front. I think I like the white on the front of this a little bit better. It's just a nice contrast. So I'm not going to pop this one up. I'm just going to go ahead and put it, adhere it using liquid, okay? Yeah, and I'm trying to remember, somebody maybe if you have your catalog, remind us how many bags you get in the little packaging, but you get several of each in color. So make nice, quick little gift card holders like I'm making tonight, or just something to put a little treat in. It doesn't even have to be a gift card holder. I'm pausing for a minute to see if I can find them. I usually tag my catalog when I'm showing you something special so that I can get to it quickly. And I didn't this time. So if you'll forgive me, give me just a second here to find my bags so I can tell you how many are in the bag. But it's under the packaging. We have a variety of little packages and like little craft boxes and so forth that you can use for little gifting ideas. Let's see. Take a momentary detour to find this. I should have had this marked. Sorry about that. And if I don't find it, I will post it if it takes me forever to find it. But I know it's in the little packaging. Let's see. I want to know how many, 20 bags. Thank you, Vicki. Thank you. It's really nice to have demonstrators watching too, because you can help me out when I flub like that. So 20 bags in a pack. These are perfect, especially with your idea, Mary, to add trees to that soft succulent color, that green soft succulent, and the evening evergreen. This is going to be a really nice color for Christmas, I think, that green. And I remember when I first saw these, I was like, why do we have two greens in one collection, like the in colors? The in colors are special, remember? Why do we need two greens? Well, it works. Like, I think they're really pretty, and they're really pretty together because you get to play with some shading. All right, so here I have my little branches, and to work with the branches to adhere those, I am going to use my fine tip glue because it is such a narrow space that I'm trying to adhere the glue to, and I don't want the glue to get all over everything. Even though it glues, it dries rather clear, as you can still sometimes see the sheen where there's extra glue just kind of hanging out. So I don't necessarily want that. So I'm going to use my fine tip glue to go ahead and adhere. Oh, I did that crooked. I can see that's crooked. Maybe I can distract with my little montage here with the branches. Okay, so there's one. I purposely went off the page as if it's coming down onto the page, the little front of the gift card holder rather. So let me get that done. And I'm only putting the fine tip glue on some of the wider parts of the cutout, because by the time I glue down these flowers and the peaches on that branch, it'll take care of this part. So I don't need to fuss with that so much. And I'm just gonna fit this one here. No rhyme or reason. I'm just kind of building a scene of sorts with these little branches. So this branch is a part of the dies for the Euro Peach suite here, or the bundle. It's a part of that. And let's see, where do I want to put this one? Let's extend this one down a little. Oh, did I put that? Nope, I didn't. I thought I put it on the wrong side. It looked like it. And let's do it that way. Okay, so we have a branch, and he does not want to stick and stay. Do I need more glue? No, I'll put some more pressure. And again, I'm going to be covering with the foliage and the fruit and the little blossoms, so it should be okay. All right, I think he's satisfied now. And I have already pre-cut, pre-stamped and pre-cut some of these blooms and the peaches. I did that already. I am going to be able to stamp some more and show you another way of sponging these using the little daubers. So these little daubers are yet another alternative to these brushes. I think the last time I sponged, I used these new brushes, but I found that I have more control over my shading with these little daubers. So you will get a chance to see that. But let me go ahead and just glue down some of these blossoms and peaches and all the things. I think I may have popped up one of them. I didn't do as much dimensional work on this particular project. So I want one coming off here. Let's get a couple of small ones in there. And again, the colors I used to stamp and sponge or do some shading, I used pale papaya first. Okay, I stamped the image in pale papaya first, and then I came back in to do some shading with the Calypso coral. They go very nicely together. Okay, let's get this third size. There are approximately 3 different sizes on the blooms. It's one single stamp, but you get 3 blooms out of it. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna put this one right about here. And I think I'll do one more over here. They almost look like they're popping up anyway. I already pre-cut some of these leaves. There's several of these dies, so you can sort of cut a bunch of them at one time. So that's the little leaves. I'll put those on in a minute. They stick all over the place because they're so tiny, and then I have a little bit of adhesive on my hands. So let me get my dimensionals here. I'm gonna just stick to my little dimensionals for this. And let's see. I'll use my take your pick tool to start the peeling process, if you will. And let's place this one here. I will go ahead and do one more peach on this one. And let's glue him down. I just fell in love with this set, this entire set. I just think it's so pretty, and the possibilities are endless. Let's go here. I want to fill in that space. And now I'll fill in some of the other spaces with the little leaves. They're so tiny. Once I started cutting, it was one of those situations where I thought, let's just cut several of them so I won't have to keep stopping to cut, if you will. And look at how they add so much color to the front of this little gift card holder, this little scene that I'm building. It's really neat, just a little pop of color. And I have some of the leaves just floating off the tree. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one at the top of this peach that I popped up. Oops. See, it keeps sticking to me and moving. I'll use that to stick it down instead of my fingers. And now I'm just going to place some little random leaves. No rhyme or reason. Just kind of falling off the tree. And maybe a few on the tree if I can get them to cooperate. Okay, just adding a pop of color. That's all I want to do. Don't need a lot of glue because they are so tiny. All right. You can do some leaves on the branches as well. Okay, so I'm just building a little collage of sorts. And then I'm going to finish this part off with a big peach. So this is one that would be closer to the forefront of the picture. If you can imagine that, doing a little design work there by popping him closer. It's bigger, so it's going to give the illusion of being closer in your view by doing so. And I'm trying to use up some of my little ends from my dimensionals here, because you know I'm always good for a dimensional. Okay, so let's pop that in the corner, and I've already stamped and cut out the little leaf and stem for the big peach. Okay, so we'll tuck him in and then get to the other parts. Let's see, I think I'll go this way. I'm going to cover up a leaf, aren't I? That's okay. They're just kind of stacked in there, okay? And then I've already pre-stamped It's Your Day. And I'm going to use some tiny, I think I actually glued this down. Yeah, I did a little bit of glue since I already popped up the peach to put this on the front. So what you'll notice as I continue to decorate sort of the inside, I'm carrying a message throughout. So this starts with It's Your Day. The next one is Happy Birthday. So I made this into a birthday gift card holder, and I'm going to use one of the larger, I think this is the second rectangle that's in those scalloped and contour rectangles. And here's my branch. I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz to stamp it in the corner there. I'm going to ink that up. Everything's sliding around on me and sticking to me because of my adhesive fingers. All right, so let's go in the corner here. So I'll have a place to put my blossoms on this one. So I thought I'd do the blossoms and stamp with those here. Okay, and let's find the blossoms. Here they are. Okay, so let me show you what I mean by sponging with the little sponge dauber like this, not the brush, but the sponge dauber. I thought this would be a great opportunity to show you how to use these. And like I said, I find these easier to deal with, these little finger dauber things. A little bit easier to control my sponging, okay? And so I am gonna use the little well of ink that I usually kind of squeeze onto the top. Pick up my ink, and so it fits on the tip of your finger. Pick up my ink, and now I can just go around the little edges of my blossoms. And because it's so much smaller than the brush, this is what I mean by I feel like I have a little bit more control over where I'm sponging, okay? So I just use that. And the shading is a little bit more controlled. Still the same effect, but I guess the brushes don't go all over the place. Okay, so when I'm looking for an idea of how to place these on the little green branch, I'm looking at a cluster of 3, and if you could probably see 3 distinct spaces. There are a couple more, but there are 3 very distinct empty spaces on that little branch, right? And so then you can just sort of eyeball it so that you can get those blooms in those 3 very vivid empty spaces. It's like those spaces are obviously empty, begging for something to go there. Think about it that way. And there we go. I love that sponging. Love it. And it goes wonderfully with the paper as well. It's just a really pretty combination. So I started with Pale Papaya, and I sponged using the Calypso Coral, okay? And now for the little tiny blooms or blossoms, let's see, I am running out of little, my clear blocks because there's so many things that I wanna put on here. So let me grab my block And I'm just gonna put some of those tiny, tiny flowers in there. Here they are. They're also in a cluster of 3. They're so tiny. I'm gonna put those on the back of another small block so that I can just accent in Calypso Coral. So I think I should be able to do this on the corner here. So to bring out more of that Calypso Coral, I'm gonna stamp those little flowers in Calypso Coral, okay? So I'll put one little cluster here, and still working in groups of 3 if you notice. And a little cluster here, kind of overlapping, okay? And then I'm gonna put one more for good measure in this corner at the bottom. And let's see, where is my happy birthday? Did I not take that out? I don't think I did. There's so many pieces and things that you can use to build with this. I can easily run out of clear blocks and stuff for it, okay? So let's see. I'm just gonna pull this one out because it's easiest. It's sort of overkill. It's the biggest block ever. I don't really need it, but whenever I use something that's so much bigger, I make sure that I put it on the corner or the edge so that I can just tap the bottom of it to ink it up without getting ink all over the clear block. I only get the ink where I want it, and I can control that better by doing it this way, okay? So happy birthday. We know now that it's your day refers to your birthday for this little gift card holder, okay? Wonderful. I like the way that came out. All right, now let's show you how to do the little pull on the side here, and then we'll keep decorating. That's the fun part of this. There's just always something popping up to be decorated on this one. And so as you pull things out of the little pockets, there's something prettier than the last. All right, I am using an old retired 1/2-inch circle punch, okay? It doesn't need to be big. I'm going to go ahead and punch out 2 of them. This is no longer available, but it's the best thing that I had. Some of the die sets might have a little circle, tiny circle in them, but that's what I had at my disposal. I just want to create a little bit of a pull for, close these up, for the little cards, the inserts, okay? I'm also going to use a smaller punch. So let me go ahead and glue these on first, or glue this one, just the small one first, the first one rather. I'm gonna glue it to one of the little scallops. And then I'm gonna use a crocodile or another hole punch to get that little center punch, all right? So this kind of matches up neatly there. Ooh, I got way too much glue. Squeezing out there. All right. And now I will use my crocodile just to give me a little center hole that I can feed the ribbon through. All right, so that's going to be big enough to feed my pale papaya open weave ribbon through it. I don't need a lot of this ribbon, so I'm just going to cut off a little length of that. You don't need a lot. And I'm going to feed it through. Okay, just going to make a simple knot out of it by pulling the 2 tails through the center, and that's it. That's all you need to make the pull. Now I obviously cut that way longer than it needed to be, so I'll cut that down a little bit. But you want to have something that makes it easy for the recipient to take out the different little surprises that are part of their gift card holder. Okay, so it's going to fit in like that, purposely hanging out the middle. All right, let's keep going. We're going to go ahead and get this inside decorated like so. All right, and I have cut 2 pieces of the designer series paper at 3 inches by 3 3/4 inches as a little bit of a background, okay? And actually we should go ahead and stamp first before we glue that down. So I used the peaches for the inside on that little branch. So let's do the branch again to go ahead and get that started. In my pear pizzazz, and I think I'll go in this direction this time. All right, and I will, let's see, should I do that on the second? Oh, I only use the peach on the second one. All right, let's do a similar technique, but with the peaches this time instead of the blooms. I'm going to start with pale papaya. I should take this off so I don't get confused. I'm afraid I'm going to lose it though. I'll put it on top. Okay, so start with pale papaya. Pale papaya. Say that a lot or fast 3 times in a row. And then I'm going to pick up some of this Calypso coral. And similarly to the blossoms, I'm going to do a little shading. So I want to make sure you can see my technique here with the shading. All right. I like to start at the bottom to get a little depth with the color as the peach is ripening. That's the way I think about it. The peach is ripening. I don't know all the different varieties of peaches, but to me, this is what makes sense. It's kind of ripening and adding more color. Okay, let's see what we get. It's really kind of hard to know exactly what you're going to get. You're not going to get the same thing twice because it is kind of hard to see, and it's just, you know, it's just sponging. There's no rhyme or reason. So similarly, I showed you those 3 obviously empty spots on the little branch here. So I'm gonna position these to fill those in just like I did with those branches, so, or with the blooms. So we have a little trio of blooms and we have a little trio of fruit that we can use on this little branch. That works nicely. Okay, I love the way those peaches came out. Absolutely love that. Okay, and so now clean that off. Now I can go ahead, and I have an extra peach left over from when I die cut this little trio from before, so I can position it in sort of like this little empty space here. I think I'll pop it up with the dimensional, and I'm using the little dimensionals because these are kind of tiny images except for the bigger peach. But the truth be told, I forgot to order some extra dimensionals. I usually include a package of dimensionals every single time I order something, and I forgot. So I am down to my little mini dimensionals. Thank you, Vicky and Mary. The shading is fun. It just adds a wonderful dimension to whatever it is that you're stamping. There's already some texture on these because of that distinctive style of stamp, but the shading just adds to it. To me, it just adds to it. Okay, what did I stamp here? Hope your day is as, so let me find those words. Hope your day is as, okay, there that is. And I've stamped that in the pale papaya. So let me ink that up. Put this at the bottom. Hope your day is as. Now, what you'll notice with the little, these, we're just gonna mount these onto a piece of that designer series paper, the 3 by 3 3/4 designer series paper, okay? And just to give a little bit of interest, visual interest, when we put the entire thing onto that little inside piece of the gift card holder, okay? So I like that a lot better than just the plain white piece. So I'm gonna tuck that there. Let's glue that down, and we'll go to the next panel. And on that one, I think I just stamped one singular peach, but we'll see in a second. All right. Perfect, perfect. So it's a little story that's kind of carrying through the entire gift card as they open and pull things out. So this next one is going to be the same size, one of the smaller rectangles. So the next to the last rectangle, make sure I have just one. And this time I'm going to stamp with the one singular large peach. Okay, so start with the pale papaya and sponge with Calypso Coral. Maybe you'll see it better if I put it on the white. Okay, I think I'll go all the way up the side on this one. Let's see what we get. I like to just play around with the different effects to see which one I like better, the differences. So, all right, and that one's going to be more centered. Okay, that's nice. I like the way that came out. Get more of the pale papaya. I really feel like they should have named this color some type of a peach, but anyway, we get that color, more of that color with the way I just sponged it. Okay, and so let me pull out the little leaf. I think I put that away too soon. I'll take out the little leaf so that we can finish up our large peach. And that's going to be in Pear Pizzazz again. I'm still using the same 3 colors. Haven't really changed that up. Okay. And put the stem in the middle. And there we have it. Okay. And then I did a little bit of shading on the words sweet as a peach, which I thought was fun. That was a lot of fun to shade words. So let me find that stamp that I've already mounted. Okay, I can get rid of that one. Sorry, these are so small. I have to take a moment in time to put them back where they need to be, because if I don't, I'm gonna lose them. Like, it's just gonna happen. And the stamps are so small, they're easy to lose. Okay, let me move the Pear Pizzazz out of the way. Get my colors lined up again. So just the same as the fruit or the blossoms, I'm going to start with pale papaya. Okay, and this time when I'm sponging for the words, I think I've concentrated near the bottom of this stamp, so I didn't sponge everything. So I'm going to pick up some Calypso Coral like I've been doing, but I'm going to concentrate near the bottom of the words, so I get a nice little ombre effect even on the words. Okay, let's see what we get. Sweet as a peach down here in the corner. Oh, I love it. I love it. Let me bring it up so you can see a little bit better. I really, really like that. Okay, so we can go ahead. I think I might have one more use for, actually, no, that'll be for the gift card. So I can go ahead and close my ink pads. I always have this fear of flipping them onto paper where I don't want them to be, or putting my elbow in the ink pad. Like, that's possible. Y'all wonder how I know these things, because I've experienced this before, making some type of a faux pas like that. So I have learned my lesson, and I know that I need to go ahead and just close those ink pads before we have a disaster in the stamp room. Don't want that, do we? All right, so let's go ahead and glue our peach to the Designer Series paper layer. Okay, and then we'll have the next panel done. And I guess I could have placed some of those embellishments, but I am all out of those little embellishments because I use them so much. I absolutely love them. So we can glue the entire thing, get rid of that. into this panel. Okay, let's try to line it up so they are at about the same height. I think that'll do it. Okay, and now we are just ready for the very last panel. So this little piece is going to hold the gift card. So that measures like 2.5 by 2 inches. It's very small. Okay, and we're going to place this here on this large last rectangle here. And make sure you don't close or glue the entire thing shut. So I am going to concentrate on like the lower half of this. The lower, actually it's less than half. Just a little bit of glue. I don't want to use my tear and tape for this because the tear and tape is a little wider than I want it to be. So I just want to create, I'm just creating a little pocket. That's all I'm doing. A little pocket to hold my gift card. Okay. So it might take a few minutes for this to go ahead and dry. So we can leave that there for a little bit. And while it is drying, I'm going to make a second pull. And this one I want to position a little bit lower. Gosh, I have glue everywhere. Let me get some hand sanitizer real quick to get this glue off my hands. All right, hopefully I'll stop sticking to my work. All right, so making my second pull, we'll go ahead and put a little bit of glue on that pale papaya circle. And I'm going to place that a little bit lower to give some interest. Just imagine that you want these to be kind of staggered when it's closed, right? So this will be a little bit lower. And I'm going to punch that second hole, just eyeballing it in the middle. I probably never really got it in the middle, but I think you get the point, right? All right, and a length of ribbon. I don't know the length of this ribbon. I just cut a short piece, enough for me to work with, rather. And that hole is big enough that I can feed it through. And then make my little simple knot here. I'm pulling the tails through. I want to thank Joanne. I don't think she's on tonight, but I just fell in love with this idea. I had to get these little bags after I saw her project. And again, it's partly due to my obsession with containers and bags and boxes and things. But I just thought this was the cutest thing ever. And I had fun decorating it. That was the fun part for me, was just decorating it. So let me take the little gift card so you can see how it just kind of fits in the middle there. Might want to put just a little adhesive on the sides here. I was trying to make sure I didn't glue it shut, but I think I can afford to put just a little bit right here on the edges. And by putting the card in there, I know I'm not gluing it shut, so to speak. All right, and that'll glue permanently. It'll stay. We'll have to dry, but it's there. And then it'll be fine. Running out of glue in this one, so I might have to give it a little more. There we go. All right. Too much glue. So this is how my fingers always get sticky, because I'm always just wiping glue. So there we have it. There's our little gift card holder. And as I said, I've been making some other examples with some of the other other colors, and I will post a picture of those. But I absolutely love this project. It makes for a nice little gift card holder with the beautiful vivid colors, and the fun part is obviously decorating it. because the bag has done all of the work for you. By the time you fold and cut it, it's done all the work for you. And so this fits right neatly, very neatly in there. So you can see the staggering of the little ribbons there for the pulls. Okay, I hope you liked it. I really think it's a really cute, quick project, and you get to spend some time using your imagination to decorate it. That's the fun part. But Joanne Hewins is where I got this idea, and I decided to use it with, she used a different stamp set, but I decided to use it with the peaches. I thought, how perfect, especially with these colors. Okay. So just a quick reminder, I am still looking for members for our stamp club that's going to launch, or card club, I should say, that's going to launch with the new mini catalog that's coming. Please let me know when you have received your catalog. If you are a customer, I had a catalog sent to you unless you told me otherwise, and so hopefully they'll start arriving soon. It's hard for me to know sometimes because I'll automatically get one as a demonstrator, but I try to send one to myself to get an idea of when you might be receiving yours. But the form is on the group as well as this page that you can use to register. And as a reminder, the card club is a chance for you to slowly build your collection of whatever it is that you want for just $25 a month. And you share the host rewards. So each person in the group gets a chance to be the host. We'll randomly draw for the month when you get to be the host. And you get a chance to get extra product with those host rewards by our collective order as a group. So we need 6 members. I'm happy to be one of those members. So so far I have 3 people, including me, signed up, and we could use 3 more folks to launch our card club. In exchange for that, you get a free card class. I will design and provide the materials for us to make cards. We can do so both in person and in virtually. Of course, now that we have these platforms working pretty well, we can meet by Zoom, or we can get together, or we can do both, as in get together and engage with folks who are not able to come in person, but at the same time that we're making. I'm happy to pop your kits in the mail for what we're going to be making in Card Club. So let me know if that's something that interests you and you can't find the registration. I'll post it again to make sure it's at the top. I think I pinned it as an announcement to the top of the page as well as in the group, but it would be fun to have you. All right, I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I really appreciate you hanging out with me on this Tuesday night. It looks like we have a storm about to roll through, so good timing there in case my technology would mess up, but I'm glad everything worked out so that you could see this cute little project tonight, and I appreciate your support. Good night.